So white privilege, I have never bought into. All right, I have always told you years, it's not true. What is true is economic privilege. And there's no doubt about that. If you have money or your family has money or you inherit money, you have privilege attached to that asset. It's all about money, not skin color. I've always said that it is harder for an African American to pursue happiness in this country than a white American. That is true, because there are bigots that play the skin color game. It doesn't matter they're on all sides because the whites are the majority. So here on Long Island, where I lived for many, many years, if you were a upwardly mobile black family, there were certain neighborhoods you couldn't buy into. All right, I was wrong. And the reason was, as again I write in the United States of Trump, because his father, Trump's father, was involved with this, economic. That they thought if black families moved into certain neighborhoods, property values would go down. Okay? So there is economic privilege, and it's a corrupter. How many rich people do you know? I know a lot. And some of them I'd like to slap upside the head because they're so arrogant. Why are you arrogant? Because you have money? You know it. It exists. Okay? But white skin color privilege is a myth. Enter 19-year-old Ray Aurora. This kid's a genius. He lives in Vancouver, Canada, and he's a writer. He sells his articles to a number of publications. So he researched white privilege. Ready? And again, it's always good to watch this broadcast with a pen and paper. He found out 4 things that just blow the white privilege theory out of the water. Number 1, according to statistics from the U.S. Census Bureau, several minority groups in America out-earn white people. They earn more money than white people. These are the groups. Ready? Pakistani Americans, Lebanese Americans, South African Americans, Filipino Americans, Sri Lankan Americans, and Iranian Americans. And the number 1 group in the United States for earnings, Indians. They earn more money than anyone else. None of those groups, except for South Africa, are white-based. None of them. Second, black immigrant groups have a median household income above the American average. Who are black immigrant groups? Nigerians, Barbadians, Ghanaians, Trinidadians. All have higher incomes than the average American. And because whites are more than blacks and Hispanics, that's the factor. Third, Nigerian Americans are one of the most educated groups in America, according to a study by Rice University. They only make up 1% of African Americans, Nigerians, 1%. Yet they are represented at the Harvard Business School at a rate of 25% of black students. So no wonder they are out earning whites, Nigerian Americans. I didn't know any of this, and I know you didn't know any of it. And thanks to Ray Aurora, we now know it. And finally, 16 million white Americans, almost twice as many as black Americans, live in poverty. Now, that's a little skewed because black Americans are 13% of the population, and whites are 50-something, close to 60%. It's a little skewed, but it goes against, if you're white, you have privilege. Okay? That's what it goes against.
Bill O'Reilly is back on TV and only on The First. No Spin News, every weeknight at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on The First.